Hey, it's me, Rod Morgan, longtime listener and semi-professional host of the Morganino Podcast, a pop culture, music, and entertainment podcast on the Morganino Podcast Network. Listen to us wherever you get your podcasts. Podcasts?
Welcome to the Yeah We Know Podcast, part of the Morgan You Know's podcasting network. You're in the ring with Jimmy and Rod. Rod, what are you hot about today?
Well, Jimmy, what I'm hot about right now is Morgan You Know Podcast Network related and not necessarily wrestling related. So I hope you will allow me a second here. But something has been gnawing at me, Jim. All right. The Save the World draft that we did.
Sure.
Jimmy, made a mistake. This is not something I do very often on this podcast, admit to being wrong. But I made a big-time mistake, and I allowed someone to make a pick in that draft and someone to promote a team under false pretenses, and it's been eating at me ever since, Jimmy.
Well, no, we stopped Roberts. He didn't pick the robot. It was a ridiculous pick, but we stopped him from that. You're fine, dude.
No, see, there was another mistake that was made, and then in the promotion of the episode, this person was allowed to have the mistake on their team, and I just think the horse is out of the barn at this point, and we can't actually fix it, but we need to call attention to it and to bring scorn upon this person. So I have a special surprise guest for you right now, Jimmy Jamriska. It is our guy, Chris King, because he has some things he has to answer for.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about me getting Jack the Ripper. Oh, okay, so it's not my fault. All right, good. Okay, Chris, you're the one that made the dumb pick, right?
I don't think my pick was dumb. And if there was a pick that needed to be reviewed, it's not one from my team. I would make an appeal that Roberts has another pick on his team that should be disallowed. But let me hear what you have a problem with.
Okay, all right, so Chris, here is the thing about this draft. It was very, very specific. You needed to have at least one woman on your team. And yes, you picked a woman from a movie that you didn't even remember, but you still picked a woman from a movie, so great job, okay? But then you also had to pick a real-life person or someone who portrayed a real-life person in a movie. Chris, yours was real-life adjacent. It was not a real person. Not even in the same state. Chris, you messed up.
Listen, I know who you're talking about, and I would say this, that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson portrayed a character based on a real person, and that's why I picked him. Whether or not his character...
That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. I'm going to stop you right there. That is absolutely ridiculous.
You got more than
First
I
off,
you
would, came on to this podcast, and your immediate move was to deflect blame and try to throw someone else under the bus. Okay, then you went to whataboutism. Okay, so boom, bam, bam, two quick deflections the minute you come on this podcast. Now you're saying you feel like you did nothing wrong, so clearly you're just admitting to being an absolute heel who's willing to cheat at any moment. Am I wrong on any of those 3
Walking
points?
Tall is a remake of a movie of the same name based on the life
Let me
of
clear
Buford
something up right now for anyone who might be lost here.
Though. No.
Let me clear something up. Let me clear something up just in case people are lost right now, all right? So, yes, you picked The Rock. That's what you said. You said you were picking The Rock for his portrayal as Buford Pusser. No, that's not who The Rock plays in Walking Tall. Buford Pusser is played by an actor named Joe Don Baker. Or you can have the real-life character Buford Pusser. What you cannot have is The Rock for playing a former Marine who comes home to a Seattle area, Portland area. It's really kind of vague where he's at, hometown, and becomes a sheriff to clean up the streets of drugs. That
His
is
name
not
is Chris
Buford
Vaughn,
Pusser.
dude. Chris Vaughn in the movie. You said I'm picking Buford Pusser, played by The Rock in Walking Tall. You got everything wrong with that except for the movie's name. Everything. Chris, for God's sakes.
Listen.
Come on. I love you, bud. I love you.
I know Walking
But
Tall is a
You messed
movie with The Rock that is a remake of another movie of the same name that is based on the real-life character and real-life person, Buford Pusser. So, The Rock
The original Walking Tall
portrayed
takes place
a
in the
character
regular state.
based on a real-life person. Just because they
So basically
changed
what
the
you're
name.
saying right now is you have no contrition. You're willing to admit
Listen,
nothing.
even if you guys
Okay,
don't
so
give
you-
me,
yeah, you're just gonna cheat.
even if you don't give me The Rock, and I take the real life Buford Pusser, my team is still way, way better than the majority of the other teams on this list. Even if I have,
the majority.
Yeah, there may.
So you're better than 3 teams, 2 other teams. You're better than 2
I
other
really
teams.
think that I have
teams.
the best team, but I'm willing.
You're the second best team or the first best? Whoa.
Okay, like
Listen,
Roberts tried to cheat right off the bat, and then you guys still let him cheat when he picked a superhero for his team for his first pick. He tried to pick a robot, we didn't let him through, but then we let him go ahead and pick a superhero. And he picked Neo. I think Neo is a superhero, and that wasn't allowed.
That's enough. This is an incredible heel turn by you here. This is an incredible heel turn by you here to just absolutely not cop to anything, to continue to try to shift blame. This is an absolute incredible heel turn.
I have
here.
a guy. I have a guy who picks serial killers for his team, trying to push me down. Yes. And I have a guy whose team
100%
is much more suited to be members of maximum male models than an apocalyptic world-saving team.
Whoa!
Listen to you trying to throw to wrestling to get off of the scent here. This is absolutely ridiculous. The one thing you're not taking into account here is no offense to the Pusser family members that may be listening to this podcast, and thank you for being wrestling fans.
We appreciate
But if you go to the real-life Buford Pusser and not Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson on your team, that's significantly a worse team, Chris. I can't believe that you would stand here and try to portray that as some sort of fact, that even if you substitute the actor Joe Don Baker or the real Buford Pusser, that your team is as good as the one that had the Rock on it.
I would be willing to say that the real-life Buford Pusser is probably better equipped to handle stressful situations than what the actor Dwayne Johnson is. I mean, you may be making my team stronger. Here's a guy that took it upon himself to make his town better. Went out and ran for sheriff, became law enforcement, cleaned up his town, and was willing to sacrifice his life. In reality, that is a true American hero, and I would be proud to have him on my team.
Wow, Jimmy, this is a heel turn. Clearly, we're not going to get anywhere with this. We got to move on.
First of all, that was beautiful to be like, no, I'm an American, man. I like people. Okay, Chris, thank you for that. So we've got a lot to talk about. This is actually the Yeah We Know podcast, part of the More You Know Podcasting Network. We are talking about professional wrestling, and we can actually call it professional wrestling now because Triple H is in charge. And one thing, Rod, that we have noticed these past couple of weeks here is the wrestling in World Wrestling Entertainment has been focused on so much more than it has in the past. We've seen some good matches, and I want to go right to it right now. That Gunther Nakamura match on SmackDown was hard-hitting. They had a lot of fun with it. The end kind of came a little quick, but other than that, I thought it was a fantastic matchup overall.
Can I do a slight pushback here? Point of clarification before I join you on the big time fan bus of that match. How exactly did Gunther's arm get hurt? I remember him at one point grabbing and favoring the arm, but how exactly did it get hurt, Jimmy?
Nakamura had him in an armbar type move, I believe, for a while. So that hurt, I believe.
All right, so the one arm bar from Nakamura has the ring general's arm.
I got to figure that out. Maybe
I thought that was like I had heard it was a previous injury that he was taking advantage of. Isn't that what they said?
Okay, let's go. You know what? Chris is right on so many things, Rod. I think we agree with him on this, right?
No, the match was fabulous. You're right about that. It was such an exciting match. It's one of those matches that you remember. This is why I started liking this thing in the first place. It was this that drew my eye as a young lad, and I like seeing grown men hit each other. This is what we want to see, and Triple H has given us a whole bunch of good TV matches these days.
In addition to that one, we also had from Raw, we had the Lashley-Ciampa match, which no one really thought Ciampa was going to win. But then he wore the Harley race robe. And then all these kickouts, all these, he could have won. He didn't win. I still think it was a fantastic finish, really good ending. Lashley and the U.S. title up at the top right now. Same with the IC title. Ciampa really not hurt by that. I thought that was well done, Rod.
I don't have much experience with the Black Heart of Ciampa, and I really did enjoy that match. He's one of those guys, right, that It doesn't matter if you're a little bit smaller. If you can do certain things and make me believe it, and it doesn't hurt that Ciampa looks absolutely chiseled out of stone. So, I mean, that absolutely certainly helps his overall thing. But that was a real impressive match out of him, man. I mean, I call Bobby Lashley right now the white-hot babyface Bobby Lashley.
Sure.
And Ciampa comported himself really well in that match, and you're absolutely right. That's the textbook definition of Ciampa lost, but he gained something.
We're going to get to a white-hot babyface here in a second, but Chris, what did you think about those two matches that really do put those secondary titles in an upper echelon? We need that, especially if your champion isn't going to be wrestling as much.
The more I see Nakamura wrestle, the more I like him. He is phenomenal. He does phenomenal work in the ring. And I have definitely been a Lashley fan since I came back into the fold as a fan, and he has done nothing but continue to impress me. He's exactly the type of guy you want to see in the ring. I like to see him hold on to the U.S. title for a while, have a good solid run, because I enjoy every match that he's been involved in.
Well, of course you like seeing him hold on to the title because, as you portrayed at the beginning of this podcast, you're the true American. But I'm not entirely sure that you're allowed to like Bobby Lashley, the white-hot babyface with the heel turn you put on at the beginning of this podcast, Chris.
Chris is more of a Miz fan, right?
Oh, no, not really.
One of my friends. Oh, go ahead. One of my friends texted me and says he remains with the opinion that if Shinsuke Nakamura ever decided to pay attention, he'd just be the best wrestler in history. And I think that's a pretty good point there. When Nakamura really focuses in and wants to have a great match, he does have a great match, Chris. So that's a good call on that. One thing that I do want to talk a little bit about is a lot of the the white hot babyface. Okay, Rod, this is all you. I'm going to put it on a tee. How excited were you when Drew McIntyre's mystery partner ran down to the ring?
You know what? I got to admit, I didn't know the music offhand, but then when either Michael Cole yelled it or then I saw who it was, I was like, oh, all right, yeah, cool in the gang, man. I always liked Madcap Moss. I thought he was completely useless in the role they had him with Happy Corbin, and the breakup was okay, fine, but now where were we going to go with Madcap? And you're going to need
main event, apparently.
Yeah, you're going to need a couple of other baby faces. You really are, because we're going to see a few more people maybe playing heel that weren't playing heel before. So you're going to need some baby faces. Why not Madcap? I was into it.
Yeah, I thought that was a surprise. And if you want new people to be in these spots, you have to be okay with them putting new people in these spots. You can't be like, oh, who cares about him?
Yeah.
Hey, no one cares because they haven't done anything with them. I mean, they had a good run with Happy Corbin. I'll give them that. But that really got old quickly. So hopefully we see them continue to move his character on. Do we need to change his name back to Riddick Moss? He was Riddick Moss for a while in NXT, or is Madcap fine? I think I'm all right with Madcap.
Well, I mean, hopefully we're past the days where he can just go by Moss, right? Or Madcap. That was always Vince's solution.
Last name,
just give him one name.
It's one name only, right, Chris? Chris, does that help, the older people like Vince and like yourself, does that help you remember who they are?
I don't think it matters because
Hit Row. Oh,
because I keep saying Austin Theory and you guys keep correcting me that it's just Theory, so I mess up either way.
So Hit Row. I know you guys have no idea who Hit Row is, correct?
I knew of them, right? I
No
knew that
idea.
they were kind of a big deal in NXT, and I remember that they were in the draft, right, Jimmy? They were in the draft. But
Yeah,
then
they
I don't
got
remember
drafted.
seeing much out of them.
One of their guys is in AEW right now, the original. Yeah, they're back. I thought when they were in NXT, they had a pretty good act, but they needed a lot more seasoning. I think I'm still of that opinion, but again, if you want new people involved, you got to be okay with new people being involved, and we've got to give them a little run. I like the fact that they just faced two jobbers. We need to see that for the next 3 or 4 weeks moving forward before they face people we actually know. Still lower on the rung, but people we actually know, I think.
We got to get new mid-carders, so I understand, right? But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a new thing here, Jimmy. I'm going to put somebody on notice, all right? Hit Row,
Uh-oh.
I know you just came back, but you're on notice. I think you guys could get real annoying to me real fast. I'm almost to the point where I'd rather see Maximum Male Models, who Chris was trying to shout down earlier in this podcast, over what I think Hit Row may bring to me. Now, I'm going to be open enough to allow them to bring something to me, but I could see how they would get real annoying for me real quick.
So I would think that we're going to see a lot more of of those types of matches moving forward, especially, and we didn't get to this yet, and it actually might have been bearing the lead here. Chris, having Drew McIntyre off of all the house shows this weekend because of a back injury, is that a good thing or a bad thing for the main event scene in WWE?
I think it's a bad thing. I think having him be a consistent face on weekly shows has been a good thing. I've become a Drew McIntyre fan in the last month or so when I really wasn't at the beginning of the year. I like seeing him multiple times a week. I think that's good for wrestling.
Jimmy,
Yeah,
I used to take
and-
shots at McIntyre every once in a while. I'm sorry
Yep.
to jump in here, buddy,
Yep,
but I'd
no,
take
you're fine.
shots at McIntyre every once in a while where I would say, well, really, his character is just that he's big and he has a sword, right? And at least now
Yes.
with his, I want to represent the company, Roman's a part-timer, right? That's a storyline, but it maybe also can be an entrance to a new character where we don't have to carry the sword and we don't, maybe we get something new out of him because of this. So I like it, but an injury to him, that worries me because we talk so often, at least I do, I keep ringing the drum that Randy Orton is out and
Yep.
that Big E is out, you know what I mean? And that Cody Rhodes is out.
Yep. So, Clash at the Castle is until 9/3, so we've got a few weeks. I'm not that concerned. I think if God himself came down and tried to kill McIntyre, he would get through God to get to Clash at the Castle. Okay, that would be God's second match in WWE for those. But another thing that happened that I thought was a really interesting character development on SmackDown. Ronda Rousey comes back, Rod and Chris. And Chris, we'll go to you on this. Ronda Rousey comes back, says, "You want my fine? Here's my fine." Throws the money all over. She puts herself into the Baszler contract signing there. Baszler and Morgan contract signing there. I liked how that went. I thought that was pretty cool. How about you?
Yeah, no, I thought it was nice. Like, she went out there and was like, here's my fine. I went ahead and doubled it. I'm sure it's not going to be the last time. Like, she was going right into it, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good little turn.
Jimmy, you want to know what I
Rodney?
loved about that contract signing?
What?
It was the only time that I was kind of like, all right, I'm ready for this contract signing. Do you want to know why?
Okay.
What
Okay.
was missing from that contract signing, Jimmy?
I don't
No
know.
Adam Pierce. No Adam Pierce. No WWE official in the ring. We haven't
Okay.
seen a lot of Adam Pierce on TV, right? We've seen him come
Yeah.
down and break up fights, right? And they still refer to his WWE official, but that was a little thing that went off in the back of my head. And the first time that we were going to bring something like this up where I thought I could get it in, I wanted to get that in your head as well. I wonder if we might be seeing a switch of Adam Pierce being on the TV as much in his official role here soon.
So Regal really wasn't on TV that much in NXT when Triple H was in charge of that. They brought him on from time to time to do really big things, and maybe that's what they'll do. You know, he's not going to be a bad guy. He's not going to be a good guy. He's just going to be the guy in charge that we need there from time to time. So let's go back to Raw. I know we've kind of gone back and forth, but it's the week in wrestling recap, and we may have to say goodbye to somebody, Rod. Ezekiel got killed. Kevin Owens said, "Oh wait, I'm Kevin Owens now. I'm going to come out and I'm going to murder Ezekiel." I think we might be done with this storyline, and also Elias might have to grow his beard back out.
I was going to say, how long is he going to be out? Long enough to grow a beard? Is that how long Ezekiel's going
About
to be
3 to
out?
4 months, right? For that long of a beard, or maybe for 3 to 4 days for him. For me, it'd be 3 or 4 years. But yeah, what do you think? Do you think we've seen the last of him, or is he going to be maybe that mid card guy who loses more?
I mean, I guess you always can use those guys, but what I would go is defer to you here on this, right? Kevin Owens has not really been this guy since I've been back, but I
Yeah.
understand through watching other WWE programming and documentaries, shout out to the WWE channel on Peacock, that this definitely was an arc in his storyline up till now. So should I be excited for heel KO? Because we know how much I lean towards heels on this podcast.
You should be pumped. Watch what he did in his debut in the WWE and NXT when Sami Zayn won the championship, and his best friend in real life for decades has been Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens comes out. They all celebrate. The whole locker room's out there. They celebrate. And then he power bombs him against the apron, and he becomes the heel Kevin Owens. And then what happened when Kevin Owens was the champion and John Cena had the United States Championship Challenge? Kevin Owens comes down and says, "I have my prize. I'm a prize fighter," steps on the U.S. title, and then beats Cena once. So, yeah, you are going to love Kevin Owens as a badass. You can
Well,
tell I kind of like it too.
I'm excited. I mean, him and Rollins had a budding friendship, right? Where then KO got mad at Seth Rollins for saying disparaging things about him and sort of turning on him. So I mean, heel versus heel, that could be just my brain would explode at that point because I have a lot of respect for KO. It was nice to see him back.
What do you think, Chris? You like bad KO or you like funny KO? You say funny KO, I am muting you right now.
No,
That's
no.
the only power I have.
I thought
it's literally the only power I have over you. I'm sorry.
I thought it was great. I like Badass KO. I thought that was a great little, a better use of him than whatever stupid show that they used to have him doing. So, no, I enjoyed it, and I'm excited to see more. And speaking of excited for more things, I got to ask you guys a question. So, we know Vince isn't in creative anymore. It's Triple H's show, and I keep hearing this name show up quite a bit, and people are talking about him coming back, and I'm trying to figure out who he is and should I be excited because I've been out of the game for a while, just got back into it. So tell me, who is Bray Wyatt? Should I be excited that he may come back?
Okay, so Bray Wyatt his name is Wyndham Rotunda. Mike Rotunda, IRS, is his father. Bo Dallas, who used to be in wrestling, is his brother. And he came in the WWE as Husky Harris. He basically played the fat guy in the NXT version when they were in WWE. Was kind of a nothing. He was in one Royal Rumble as Husky Harris, got thrown out. Well, then he developed his character, and he's always really good on the microphone. And he came up with this character, Bray Wyatt. Chris, I know you were probably in your 20s or 30s when this movie came out, so you'll remember it. Cape Fear with Robert De Niro.
Yep.
You remember Cape Fear?
Yep.
The character he's
He's actually more familiar with the Gregory Peck original, Dewey.
That was the joke, and I effed it up. That's why it's the Morgan Podcasting Network. He plays that character. He played that character when he first came out, down to the hat and the Hawaiian shirt. He sat in a rocking chair and was kind of a cult leader, and people really got behind him. He called them the Fireflies. Everyone would have their lighters on when he came out. He had the fantastic music by a band. I have no idea who they are, but a really great music to come out to. Was always good in the ring, but there always was this. They didn't take him all the way.
Wait a minute. They let him interact with The Rock at a WrestleMania.
Oh, no. Well, yes, but then The Rock beat Rowan in 3 seconds. Okay, so they did interact. They didn't let him go all the way to the WWE. He was the champion, but he was only champion for a minute. And then they kind of repackaged him, and he became the Fiend.
Didn't Randy Orton kill him?
There was a lot of deaths in the Bray Wyatt. Yeah, he like burned his chair or whatever. And then so he became the Fiend, and the Fiend was unstoppable until Goldberg randomly beat him in Saudi Arabia and just ruined his whole gimmick. Now,
yeah, he did.
The Fiend did not have very good matches. Okay, the Fiend was there were a lot of red lights when the Fiend wrestled. He had one of the worst Hell in a Cells ever with Seth Rollins, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna go storytelling on that. Watch it. It's horrible, dude. There was a disqualification.
I'm not going to allow
in Hell
any
in a
Seth
Cell
Rollins
match.
slander here. You're talking about Bray Wyatt, and you're just going to throw random strays at my guy?
No, Seth Rollins did fine. Hey, if you're
Damn right he did fine, Jimmy.
if you're given crap, that's all you can do, right? So, yes, I think you should care about this. I do not know if he's coming back or not. It would be very big because they do need more main event talent, and he would be somebody who would go right to the main event, whether it's as The Fiend or as Bray Wyatt. I'm assuming it would probably be back to Bray Wyatt.
Listen, if he comes back, that's fine. I'm excited for it. The opening music was cool. People putting their cell phones in the air with the fireflies. It was cool. You know what I mean? The bearded follower guys that can come along. You know what I mean? Maybe Elias can join up with them this time. Maybe Elias did join with them before. I don't know. I wasn't around. But what I would say is Alexa Bliss has finally stopped carrying Lily to the ring. Can we please leave her out of it if he does come back?
Yep. No, I think that had to, that's gone. So
that was the thing that's not a big deal. We don't have a whole segment, but seeing Alexa Bliss come out to the ring without Lily a couple times in a row, I was finally like, yes, thank God. Okay.
So someone else that you may or may not want to care about, gentlemen, at the end of Raw was weird because Styles won his match. It was kind of strange. It was Styles and The Miz, and Why was that the main event of Raw? You think something huge is going to happen?
Because Miz was passing the torch to Styles as the new Miz, who just
Of
wrestles
course.
with everybody and gets him over for weird reasons.
Of course he does. And there was that was a really good match, honestly, between the two.
It was. That was one of the better matches that Miz has had because you
Yes.
gave the Miz a bunch of crap one time on this episode, and he deserved it. And you were right. He was good in that match.
And, he hit Styles in the face with the chair, which was kind of cool. But then all of a sudden so throughout the whole show of Raw, you notice there was like a car wreck and there was something else that was weird that was happening.
I missed the car wreck, Jimmy. I heard them make mention of the car wreck that or somebody
Yeah.
else did, and I missed it. What even?
It was in the background. So it's like someone was giving an interview and you saw it in the background. And this is playing off of stuff that happened in NXT. And I'm not going to get into the whole thing because I don't know the whole thing, but I know the bits and pieces of it. But anyway, so they have this guy that the security's grabbing, and you really can't see him. And his hood comes down for one second. They're like, "That's Dexter Lumis. That's got to be Dexter Lumis." And then they went off. So Dexter Lumis, who was fired, got re-signed, and he got great facial expressions. Comedy is pretty good with him. He's just not there in the ring. And the thing that made him a star was his program with Indy Hartwell, who was in NXT, and they had this whole marriage thing with Johnny Gargano was involved, and there was some really good back and forth there. They thought that Dexter Lumis was a serial killer. At one point, he had a big knife in his coat. But there was some good stuff that happened. I just don't know if we need to care too much right now about him. We'll see what happens.
Also, listeners, drink. Jimmy just mentioned Johnny Gargano, another one of our categories to make you drink at this point.
I've only said actually like 6 times instead of 20. Thank you very much.
Well, I was going to say, I wouldn't even call you out on that one, but your boy Johnny Gargano gets mentioned all the time by you recently.
I love me some Johnny Gargano. Happy birthday, by the way. 35 years old today.
Listen to you. You're always applying to become the president of the fan club. Next time they need one, we're going to get behind your candidacy.
So, and then finally, just real quick, Doudrop had an interview, and I guess that they have had discussions about maybe changing her name. I think that would be probably a good idea because Doudrop is fine, but Piper Niven was kind of better, I think. What do you guys think?
Yeah, Doudrop's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous name. It's ridiculous that we still have to think about Eva Marie, who basically was a wrestler who never wrestled. Like, yeah, let's just move on because I like Doudrop's work in the ring. And see, now I'm calling her Doudrop. Piper. I like Piper's work in the ring.
Yeah, Chris, what do you think about Piper Doudrop Niven?
I do not like the name Dewdrop at all.
Okay.
I'm glad that it'll go
Thank
back
you.
to Piper.
Thank you.
Jimmy, are we going to touch on the women's tag team tournament here, or do you have it set up for another segment?
We had a couple of matches in there. I wasn't going to really hit it yet because we still got a little ways to go. But if you want to talk about it, you can for sure.
Well, let me just get one thought in here, right?
I'm sorry, you did one. Yeah, my bad.
We all know that we are going to see the 2 new Bailey cohorts, right? Who are probably going to end up being called Control at some point, we think, right? Instead of the Party Crashers, which is by far a better name that we coined on this podcast, trademark the Morgan Podcast Network. Yeah, we know In the Ring with Jimmy and Rod. But I have to admit the NXT team does intrigue me a little bit now because I did some further inspection and I realized that one of the few times I'd flipped by NXT recently, I saw a female match that included that Nikita Lyons, and I was quite intrigued by her athletic ability, which seems to come out of nowhere because she's a bit KO-ish, I guess would be the way that I could say that without sounding too terrible. But I liked a lot of what I saw out of her. So her and that other team, man, maybe they're going to surprise because I do not care about Raquel Rodriguez, and it also seems that they're going to be trying to keep making her be a thing in this tournament.
Yeah, I think they're gonna have them maybe go to the finals in the
kind of like Aaliyah though. So I was like, all right, the big and the small of it. Let's go, I guess. But Raquel Rodriguez, you make fun of this all the time, Jimmy. They just tell them to smile, and that's clearly what they told her.
You got to smile. So this week on Raw, we have Lashley versus AJ for the first time, I believe, ever. So that's going to be a terrific match, and that might be the main event again. Chris, does that do anything for you there?
Yeah, I'll watch that. I'll always watch Lashley, but I think Lashley versus Styles would be a good show.
Riddle will be back to talk about some things. According to Seth Rollins, he's going to say "bro" a lot. So that'll be good for.
Wait a minute, are you trying to make fun of Seth Rollins again right now, Jimmy?
No, I was making fun of Riddle because he's probably going to say "bro" a lot.
I'm just saying you're towing the line tonight. You were towing the line tonight. Chris got me all fired up with his complete garbage at the beginning of this podcast.
Alexa Bliss and Asuka versus Nikki ASH and Doudrop Piper Niven will be another matchup that we have. That will do it for Raw. Anything before we say our goodbyes today, gentlemen?
No, let's do Alexa and Asuka proud there, all right? Because I kind of like Nikki ASH and Dewdrop, right? It's unfortunate that these two are coming up against each other, but that's just how it works in these tournaments sometimes. But like, let's do Alexa and Asuka proud here because I like the angle we seem to be playing up, where it's like one side of the women's roster against another side. So I like that. So let's make sure that we're going somewhere with that. And Dexter Loomis, I wondered, you said serial killer. I was like, Dexter,
Yep.
serial killer show is the first thing I thought about. So to hear you then say he's good at comedy, I was like, oh, all right, intriguing.
Yeah, he was one of the people I was going to pick for my team, but only one serial killer allowed on the best team in the Morning You Know's draft. You have been listening to the Yeah We Know podcast, part of the Morning You Know's podcasting network. You're in the ring with Jimmy and Rod.
And we know listeners that were subjected to all of that talk about the Morgan You Know podcast draft. Just go back and listen to the episode. It's well worth your time. It's quite entertaining, and you will absolutely see how much complete garbage that one Chris King just spewed at you when he came on this podcast about his team being better than my team, about his team being second best. All of this stuff is complete falsehoods, and I'm very proud at the way I comported myself and not just turning this into a scream fest a la Skip Bayless, Stephen A. Smith.
Chris, it's your gimmick. Take us home. If you want to say anything else, you can too.
Goodbye, Internet.